everyone, how's it going? Matthew Bailey Media here, and welcome back once again to another movie review. This, I believe, will be my last full-on movie review for this year because it's the last movie that was on my list of films to see this year. So the next time you see anything related to movies or whatever, it will probably be my worst and best films of the year list as of this recording. And I'm also recording this review, as a matter of fact, on my birthday. So I'm not sure if I mentioned it in my normal community post, but as of today of this recording, being December 20th, this is in fact my birthday, and I am now 27 years old. Thought I made that little announcement in a video. But anyways, in regards to the movie I'm reviewing, I thought it would make sense to review this film on my birthday, and that is, even though I saw it the day before, and that is, of course, Avatar: Fire and Ash. Yep, this is the third installment of the James Cameron Avatar films, and I gotta say, I will say, when you think about all three films in general, I think out of all of them, my favorite by far has to be The Way of Water, and honestly, I'm kind of torn between this movie and the first film as to which one I really enjoyed. I feel like they're both pretty similar, but honestly, all three films, James Cameron still does not disappoint. I will say, it definitely continues off where Avatar: The Way of Water left off, and we do get a little bit more character development with characters like Spider, Kiri, Loak, and more specifically, this is a character I did not think was going to get that crazy development in this movie, and that is, of course, Colonel Miles Quaritch. The guy who was the villain in the first movie, he died and got reincarnated in a recombinant body, and then the way they ended his character arc in the third movie, or the second movie, I should say, and the way they portrayed it in this film, I gotta say, I did not expect to really enjoy this character all that much. But man, did he have an interesting character development in this series, and also character arc, I should say. Jake Sully, who was the main human, he does sort of get some development in this movie, but I gotta say, he wasn't really the main focus all that much, in all honesty. Again, the surprise character that really had the most development was in fact Quaritch, which I was kind of surprised. I'm not going to say how his character was developed. You should definitely see the movie before watching my review in case I accidentally reveal some spoilers, so slight spoiler warning in case I decide to accidentally say something. And I will say, the character of Kiri, who's played by, again, Sigourney Weaver, was an interesting character in this film. They sort of build on to what happened in the last movie with her character, and honestly, there were some characters that were rumored to be in this film that I was like, man, I wonder if they're going to feature these characters, but apparently they didn't. So honestly, I'm a little curious as to how they're going to develop, if these characters are going to show up in a fourth, possibly fifth installment. It depends on how well this movie does, but again, the visual effects still do not disappoint. And honestly, when I first started at the start of the movie, I thought it was weird the way the scenes were going along, but I guess that's mainly because the showing I went to, the first 10 minutes or so, the movie had the lights on still, or the theater had the lights on, but someone did go out and ask them if they could fix the lights, and after they dimmed the lights, it started to look a lot better to me. But as to who I should say is the weakest character of the film, in my mind, it would probably have to be between Jake Sully, like I mentioned, or maybe Took, who is his youngest daughter. Those are the two characters that I really that in my mind had the weakest character developments in my mind. And like I said, both Spider and Colonel Miles Quaritch had the biggest development in this movie. Spider, especially with his character, had an interesting thing happen to him that I'm not going to say what it is, but I mean, if y'all seen the trailers, y'all kind of know what I'm referring to with this character. And the way they develop that, I think, is really interesting. And I'm curious how they're going to take that development into the fourth and fifth movies. Now, I'm hearing the fourth movie is going to have a somewhat of a time jump which is why they've already filmed like the first 1/4 of Avatar 4. Now, unfortunately, this is going to be the last, at least this movie and the first fourth of Avatar 4, whatever it ends up being called. These are going to be the last times we get Jon Landau, who was the producer on the films, as part of the crew, because unfortunately he did recently pass away I think it was either this year or last year of 2024 or 2025. So unfortunately and now I will say with a slight spoiler with this situation that they did provide at the end of the movie a sort of memoriam message for him saying in loving memory of Jon Landau. I love that they did that for him. He will definitely be missed. I'm hoping that doesn't hurt Avatar 4 and 5 when they get made, if they decide to make them, depending on how well Avatar 3 does. I will say Avatar 2 did pretty well. I'm hoping Avatar 3 is in the same boat. But for now, let me give you my rating of the movie. So, for my rating of Avatar Fire and Ash, like I said, I definitely still think the second one is my favorite out of the three. But this movie still does not disappoint. Same with the other two films. And for once, and as always, this is the only movie of the year to get the rating of 5 out of 5. Yep, it's a perfect movie in my mind. I've given all three of these films 5 out of 5s, but I do think it's between. I'm not too sure if it's much weaker than the first Avatar in my opinion, but I kind of agree with my cousin and my friend Matthew Davis Media that the second movie is probably my favorite of the three. So anyways, that's all for now in this movie review, and as always, I will see all of you guys in the next video.